"Watson, we must find Mordecai Smith and the Aurora as soon as possible," said Holmes. "Mordecai Smith and the wooden-legged man are working together. Smith has taken the two murderers in his steam launch. They are all hiding somewhere on the river." "It will be easy to find them," I said. "You must tell the police at once." Holmes shook his head. "No, I don't want these criminals to know that anyone is looking for them. They will try to escape again. I have a better idea," Holmes went on. "I have many agents everywhere up and down the river. These agents are clever. I pay them to bring me information. They always know what is happening on the river. I will ask my agents to look for Mordecai Smith and the Aurora. But you look tired, Watson. Let's go home and have breakfast." It was now nearly 8 o'clock in the morning. I did feel very tired. I was glad to go home to Baker Street. When I had a bath and changed my clothes, I came downstairs to breakfast. Holmes was drinking coffee and reading a newspaper. "Look, Watson," he said. "Here is a report about the murder of Bartholomew Sholto at Pondicherry Lodge, and about the arrest of Thaddeus Sholto by Inspector Jones last night." I took the paper and read the report. I felt sorry for Thaddeus Sholto. Inspector Jones had made a stupid mistake by arresting him. I knew that Sholto was not guilty of the murder of his brother. I hoped that we would be able to help Thaddeus. But would we be able to find the murderers? Suddenly, there was a loud knock on the door. A few minutes later, 12 children ran into the room. Their clothes were dirty and ragged. They had no shoes on their feet. Their hair was untidy, and their faces had not been washed for a very long time. But they seemed happy and cheerful. "Good morning, Mr. Holmes," said the children together. "Who are these children, Holmes?" I asked in astonishment. Holmes laughed. "These are my agents," he said. "I sent a message for them to come. Look at them. They can go anywhere, see everything, hear everything. Nobody is afraid of children." Holmes gave each of the children some money. Then he told them what he wanted them to do. "You must find a steam launch called the Aurora," he said. "It is on the river somewhere, and belongs to Mordecai Smith. The Aurora is black with 2 red stripes down each side. It has a black funnel with a white stripe. You must find it. Now go." The children ran out of the room, all talking together. They went down the stairs and out into the street. "My agents will find Mordecai Smith and the Aurora," said Holmes. "Now we must wait."
The picture sequence from the cinema has finished. You can look at it once more if you want.
We had not slept all night, and I was very tired. I went to bed and woke late in the afternoon. I felt much better. I went downstairs. Holmes was reading a book. I saw at once that he was worried. "Is there any news?" I asked.
"Nothing at all. I can't understand it. I am very surprised and disappointed. My agents say that they cannot find the Aurora."
"Can I do anything to help?" I asked.
"Nothing."
"Then I'll take Toby back to Pinchin Lane. Then I'll go and see Miss Morstan and tell her what has happened." I went to Miss Morstan's house. She looked very pleased to see me. I told her that we had not found the treasure yet, but she did not look disappointed. I was surprised about this, but I was also very pleased. I said good-bye to her and drove back to Baker Street. I went to bed, but I could not sleep. I was thinking about Miss Morstan. I wanted to ask her to marry me. All night I heard Holmes walking up and down in his room. Next morning he looked tired and ill.
"My agents cannot find the Aurora,"
he said impatiently.
"They have searched the whole river. The Aurora has disappeared."
We waited all that day, but there was no news. The next day I woke early. It was still dark. To my surprise, Sherlock Holmes was standing by my bed. He was dressed and ready to go out.
"I have had an idea, Watson," he said. "I am going up the river myself. Perhaps I can find the launch. You must stay here. There may be some messages."
Holmes left without another word. That day, the time passed very slowly. I picked up a book but was unable to read it. I was thinking all the time about the wooden-legged man and the pygmy. Where were they? Why could Holmes not find them? I was worried about my friend. I knew that he was a clever detective, but perhaps this time he would not be able to catch the murderers. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I had a visitor. It was Inspector Jones, the police officer. I was astonished. Inspector Jones had changed completely. 2 days ago, he had been very rude to Holmes. He had not wanted his help. Now, he was very quiet and polite. "Good afternoon, Dr. Watson," said Inspector Jones. "I'm afraid that I made a bad mistake. I have had to let Thaddeus Sholto go. Sholto has proved that he was at a friend's house when his brother died." Inspector Jones looked so sad that I began to feel sorry for him. "I've received a telegram from Sherlock Holmes," the inspector went on. "Here it is." I took the telegram and read it.
"Inspector Jones, go to Baker Street at once. Wait for me there. I know where Sholto's murderers are hiding. Come with us tonight if you want to catch them. Holmes."
"That's excellent," I cried. "Forget about Thaddeus Sholto. You'll soon have some other prisoners, Inspector Jones." At that moment, the door opened and Holmes came into the room. He was smiling. "What news?" we asked together.
"I know where the Aurora is," Holmes replied. "It wasn't on the river at all. The Aurora has been hidden in a boatyard near the river for 2 days. I knew the launch at once. Mordecai Smith, the owner, was there too. He was talking to someone, and he was speaking very loudly. He said that he had to have the Aurora ready for 8 o'clock tonight. His 2 gentlemen were leaving for America. Their ship was waiting for them out at sea, and they must not be late. I knew immediately what they were planning to do," went on Holmes, "and I know what we must do. Inspector Jones, will you help me?"
"I was wrong before, and you were right," said Jones sadly. "I didn't listen to you then, but I'll help you now."
"Good,"
said Holmes.
"We need a fast police launch, as fast as the Aurora. It must be ready this evening, and 2 or 3 strong policemen to come with us."
"I'll arrange all this," said Jones.
"Excellent," said
Holmes.
"Tonight, the 3 of us, you and I and Dr. Watson, will be on the police launch. We will be waiting outside the boatyard at 8 o'clock. We'll be ready for the Aurora when she comes out. We'll catch the murderers, and we'll get the treasure."
The picture sequence from the cinema has finished. You can look at it once more if you want.
At 7 o'clock that evening, the 3 of us, Inspector Jones, Holmes, and myself, went down to the river. Both Holmes and I had guns in our pockets. Inspector Jones had promised to let us use the police launch. This launch was now waiting. 4 strong men were on board the launch. Soon we were moving quickly down the River Thames. The police launch was very fast. We passed all the other boats on the river without difficulty. This pleased Holmes very much. By 8 o'clock we had arrived opposite the boatyard where the Aurora was hidden. It was now dark. We waited. 10 minutes passed. Suddenly, a launch came out of the boatyard. It was black, with 2 red stripes. It was moving very quickly.
"That's the Aurora,"
cried Holmes.
"Follow it, quickly! Faster! Faster! We must catch them!"
We were going so fast that the police launch started to shake, but we could not get near to the Aurora. The chase became more and more exciting. We went in and out between other boats. Many times I closed my eyes. I was sure that we would hit something. At last we got closer to the aurora. Inspector Jones turned on a light and shone it on the aurora. "Stop!" he cried. "Stop! We are the police!" In the lamplight we could see some men on board the aurora. One man was sitting at the back of the launch. Beside him was a strange, dark shape. We could also see Mordecai Smith, the owner of the aurora. He was working as hard as he could. He was trying to make the engine of the launch go faster. Inspector Jones shouted again, "Stop!" Suddenly, the man at the back of the aurora stood up. He shouted at us angrily. He was a big, strong man. Then I noticed that his right leg was missing. There was a wooden stump in its place. This was the wooden-legged man. At the sound of the man's voice, the strange dark shape beside him moved. It was a small, dark man, the smallest man I have ever seen. But the pygmy's head was large. His face was hard and cruel.